Hello, it's Coach again. Well, today, April 16, I think that's a really great day to mirror things because it's a mirror day in the Mayan calendar. Actually, 5 Etsnap, the white overtone mirror. Overtone is very active energy, the number 5, and the mirror, the reflector, is usually a bit more of a challenging day. So many of you might feel that in their own way. However, it's also a great day to go to the bottom of something, to really see through it and penetrate and have also a vision into what the whole situation we're in looks like. So anyway, I just had to come back and do this video and want to say, yes, we're seeing the rebirth of the United States. That's really what's going on. That's what astrology shows, and I will just guide you through why I am saying that. It's based on progressions, the secondary progressions, the true tertiary progressions, and the minor progressions. All three are an amazing synchronicity. There's so many wonderful conjunctions. I will show you. I mean, you will see yourself. So anyway, let's start with just the progressive charts by themselves. So here you have the secondary progressions, which is the most basic one. Every astrologer uses one day after birth is 1 year, as I explained yesterday in the other podcast I did. So I'm teaching you kind of astrology on the side, so you learn a lot. So I mean, that's my plan. I'm a teacher in the first place, and I only do this because I feel so inspired to do it, because it's such special times. I cannot hold back. So anyway, so here we go. Just look at this chart. As an astrologer, you will say this is a beautiful chart. Just the progressions by itself. It's kind of the evolution from to where the energy is right now. And sure, there's always a connection to where we are coming from, to our history, but this is kind of plain without taking the history into account where we are right now. Go lie down, Yahtzee. Go, that's my puppy. She's standing here wanting my attention. Go lie down. Go lie down. Thank you. So, Pallas, Setna, Sun, mid-Pisces conjunction in a perfect trine to Jupiter and the part of fortune in the 11th house, and that's very close to where the American nation's Sun is at 13 degrees 19, so less than 2 degrees away. The Jupiter in retrograde motion, still closing in backwards on the natal Sun, the part of fortune exactly on Jupiter, and then this wonderful enigmatic and very deep conjunction here in center of Pisces. Pallas, clarity, understanding, intelligence, piercing through Setna, which is really the deep enigma, I would call Setna, because Setna has an 11,000 plus year cycle away into the depth of the universe, far, far away from planet Earth and from all other planets, to say, really intersecting with interstellar space. And Setna is a very lonesome being in that sense. I guess that's the best word to use. Alien it is. accustomed to be in the inner solar system, as it is for such short period of its large orbit. Only for 2 centuries basically Sedna is within the neighborhood of the other planets, and then again it ventures out into the Kuiper belt and far away. So you can kind of get what this feels, also this alienation we're experiencing on a very personal level in these present weeks of quarantine. And I showed you in an earlier presentation podcast the connection Sedna has in our present time, really that extremely strong presence, as it's been repeatedly over and over at the 4th house cusp globally for many important moments, charts, eclipses, ingress of the sun into sign Aries. I'm not remembering each of them, but Sedna is really a central figure. Then, okay, so this is a beautiful trine. Trine means success, expansion, understanding, peace, harmony, and particularly with Jupiter being the great benefice in classic astrology, the greater benefice, Venus the smaller benefice. They're both marvelously placed. You see, Venus just entered Taurus here by progression. That's the best place for Venus to be. Still in the 8th house, that's interesting in itself. And still at the cusp of the 9th house. So this 8th house placement in itself is really important and interesting, as it's this pretty much the lowest. Not quite, it's actually Juno is here also very low in the early part of a sign. I'm looking for the planets of lowest degree. So it is Juno exactly trining Venus. I didn't draw all the lines in here, you have to be kind of imaginative, so it would be a blue line from here up to Venus. That is an exact trine. Again, harmony. At the beginning of Earth signs, Juno here particularly nicely placed. We are very realistic. We see the patterns and the plan, and we understand that we have to kind of build up from where we are here at this point. We have to build a new structure of society, pretty much. That's what it looks like with the enormity that is coming. Lie down. Lie down. Okay, we have a little bit of interference here. She looks out of the window and sees the neighbor's puppy. Anyway. So, okay, then next. See this Uranus here on top of the chart? Squaring ascendant and descendant. That in itself is giving it away. I mean, it was very clear that any astrologers would have said in the years when the horizons and the midheaven will start aligning with Uranus, that will be a big reformation of the whole American society, the American nation. So this was easy to predict in a way. Naturally, it's never exactly, it's very difficult to be exact. That's what I want to say. I get my words mingled here in my mouth. Anyway, so Uranus at 7 degrees Gemini, and you have to imagine I kind of am having a hard time explaining that, but you have to imagine the zodiac is moving. Maybe I show it with the mouse. The zodiac is moving. Actually, no, I'm saying it wrongly. The zodiac is moving this way. It's kind of the time of the day, the rotation of the Earth causing the sky to move in the opposite direction. So anyway, that's the sunrise point. So what I want to say is, in a year this will be 9 degrees, in 2 years 10 degrees, pretty much that's how it goes. So slowly that has been getting more exact, and actually, as you see, the square to the ascendant has been exact probably a little bit less than a year ago. That would have been in spring 2019, and I mean, these have been explosive times. We all know we all knew something big was on its way coming. It was just a matter of when, and it seems we're right there. Yes, that's my take. That's what I'm kind of getting here with my whole presentation. You're right there. Watch out. April 20, 21st, 22nd. That phase when the moon will close in on the sun, the last 2 days before new moon, and then with new moon particularly, I tell ya, we go through an enormous shift. Hard to imagine. Even we, speaking of all my friends and whatever followers who know my ways of thinking, even we will be really surprised of how big this whole transformation we are going through will be in the end. Anyway, so the square to the ascendant was exact a year ago, but it still is getting closer to midheaven because it's not an exact right angle, it's a little bit bigger, as you see. So it will be another 2.5 years for midheaven to be exactly centered on Uranus. However, right now it is pretty much dead on centered, that power axis, that evolution kind of which pulls our consciousness in a never new direction. That's kind of that power axis from the 4th to the 10th house, which is the plumb line, right? That's what I'm looking for. Sometimes I have to search for words because, I mean, you can hear it. English is not my main language. It's my I grew up in Switzerland, so my main language is Swiss German, and then naturally I came here many years ago, so I'm quite okay, but still sometimes I lose words. Happens. Anyway, so what I want to say is midheaven for 424 here, Vesta, one of the 4 major asteroids, Vesta, named after the Greek goddesses. This, I should say differently, in German they're called Vestalinnen. They're priestesses, that's I guess the best word, priestesses who serve the divine. And in Vesta's temple there's the eternal light, the light which always has to be lit, and that's a symbol, or it's the fire in the hearth, in your house, the heart of the house, the stove, which warms the whole house. And this is a very spiritual force, and the asteroids in particular are a very special family of planets. And I'm just thinking of Magenta's Pixie latest channeling, where she was understanding that importance of the asteroid belt, of that all these fragments from the wonderful planet Tiamat or Maldek, who blew up maybe 500,000 years ago or something like that, and since, which was an extreme catastrophe in our solar system, not just here, but that really rippled out through the whole galaxy and much farther, as we are told by those who know and who are on those higher dimensions through channeling, the 9 and such. So what I want to say is this: it's actually worship. I guess that's the best way to give a word to Vesta. And as I say, it's a fractal of Tiamat, and it's kind of all the asteroids have a very special mission. If you look at the planetary sequence, then there's a big gap between Mars and Jupiter, and any astronomer was guessing that there should have been one in between, and sure enough there was one. Later on we found all the fragments, so there's many smoking guns that this is really true, this story. Anyway, so these are fragments of Tiamat, and we are Tiamat's daughter, Terra, Earth. That's where evolution progressed to. That the Earth was kind of ready to receive all these refugees, and it's kind of the asteroids are the ones redeeming that catastrophe and healing it. And the asteroids linking the personal planets with the collective, the social and the collective planets, is particularly an interesting thought. So I came to understand that all the asteroids are really our jobs, our assignments, how we personal beings interact with society at large and the bigger universe. The asteroids are very critical in this understanding what job or what career you should take. Anyway, the long and short, it's the social interactions which are really the central word with all the different asteroids, and I only have a few here in my charts, as you see, the major ones, and they're in grey. Well, there's also Chiron, which is in grey, which is not really an asteroid, but yeah, there's so many ways you can nail it down. All the other ones though are all asteroids. Anyway, what I want to say is this is showing that this is a higher mind which comes in, a collective will to shift from here to there. It's really almost the American nation as a whole. Naturally, it always consists of all these many individuals, but a substantial number of people thinking along the same way. I guess that's what it is. That's what you could call the Q movement, the patriots. All those people who really see how the president is mistreated, and for that we give him even more sympathy and hold together even more. It's kind of that polarization which really bonds all these people who think alike, and that's really the expression of that Vesta here in Midheaven. I really found it so beautiful to see that manifesting in, as I said, this whole chart is just an amazing, beautiful picture of harmony and of things going the right way. So the moon, I mentioned Juno here, again an asteroid. Juno, partnership, shared responsibilities. It's the idea. Juno was the wife of Zeus, the main god in the Greek mythology, and she, in Greek, she's named Hera, Hera. It's just the it's that interesting, I would say, synchronicity between Greek mythology and Roman mythology is quite interesting. It's kind of the Roman mythology has kind of adopted many of the Greek characters, you could call it that way. So Juno is the Roman name of Zeus' wife Hera, and she is a great supporter. She always supports her husband, even though he's doing all kinds of bad things in that sense, not really being faithful, and running away with all these nymphs and whatever beautiful girls. So anyway, she still holds on to the partnership, and she supports him to the very end, even though she's angry at times, as a good wife should be, I say. Anyway, Juno in Capricorn now, probably for 2-3 years. I think that's how slow progressions go. The moon is much faster. The moon is in Capricorn now probably 2 years, a little shy of that. The moon moves about 12 to 14 degrees a day, or in progression 12 to 14 degrees a year, depending. The moon has not always the same speed. And then, so we are here 2254 Capricorn, and if you know where the planets are right now, I could just go to that and show you. Let's just go to the third quarter moon, which was just a couple days ago, and I will make another short clip about that chart because it's so potent. This week between here and now, 14th and 21st, is real build up, a real one can almost feel it literally, that like a tsunami wave just short before crashing, and it's still building and it's getting stronger. That's the Jupiter moon Pluto thing here. So anyway, that's where the American nation's progressed moon is approaching toward. You can imagine here about 2254. Let's just go back to it. And then there's also the south node, and there's Pluto here. So this in itself is kind of saying the power is given back to the people. It's a bit of an oversimplification, but I guess that's the deeper message here. The south node being the gathered assets with all the interests which the American nation as a whole has built over these last 240 plus years. So it's kind of it's a very powerful placement. It's in hexagram 61. It came backwards, and you see, if you look at the natal chart for a minute, then the south node here is at 6 degrees Aquarius. The nodes are the only factor in astrology, well, not completely, but of all the factors we usually use in charts, there's a few real oddballs of other small planets which also move the other way around the sun, but most of them move all in the same direction, but the nodes of the moon move backwards. So by progression, the node has since 1776 regressed and is now here at the 26th degree of Capricorn, and has come through a bunch of hexagrams here and just entered the hexagram 61. Let me just go to the right chart here again. Here we go. probably about 5-6 years ago. 26-25 is the cutoff line here, or to be exact, I said slightly wrong, 26-22-30, that's the exact place. Kind of odd, but it's because you divide 360 degrees by 64, so you get some odd fractions. So anyway, hexagram 61 is inner truth. That is a very strong call to find the seed within, to find the resources, and it's also one of the few hexagrams which are perfectly symmetrical, kind of mirroring what's there and allowing us to see from a higher perspective. That's all kind of hexagram 61. So it's a very powerful spiritual gateway in a way, and certainly is not just. This is very true also if you know a little more about human design, where all that information came from, then hexagram 61 is part of a channel between the 7th and the 6th center, so it's a very high frequency energy, and that's where Jupiter, Pluto, and so many let me just go there once more to where we are right now. Yep, here we are. So yeah, Jupiter, Pluto, and the Moon were in this segment of the zodiac just a couple days ago. The Moon was there and at its last quarter, which was a real key point, as all these lunar stations are. They always set kind of the pace for the next 7 days, which is a relatively short window, but this is a particularly powerful base chart for this week. So yeah, we are in for something. Anyway, I want to keep it at that, and just check, I will have a follow-up on the tertiary progressions and then also on the minor progressions to give you the whole picture. Okay, see you then soon again. Thank you for tuning in.